Welcome to the season of self-love, your daily dose of inspiration and encouragement. I'm your host, Nyomi, and I am thrilled to be here with you today. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery. Are you ready to elevate your mindset and embrace the power of self-love, or have you come to the right place? Each day we'll dive into topics that will empower and inspire you on your journey towards self-discovery and personal growth. Whether you're looking to cultivate healthy relationships, boost your confidence, or find balance in your life, this podcast is here to support your every step on the way. We believe that self-love is the foundation of living a fulfilled and joyful life. And together we explore practical tips, insightful interviews, and transformative stories that will leave you feeling inspired and motivated. So join me Monday through Friday as we embark on this daily adventure of self-love. Tune into the Season of Self-Love podcast to start your day on a positive note and discover the limitless potential within yourself. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Today is Thursday, March 14th, 2024. And I want to welcome you, beautiful people, to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi. And today we're going to do something a little different. For the past, I want to say the past few weeks, this word has been constantly coming up into my mind. And I want to speak about it today. And I guess because I woke up this morning with this word on my mind, and literally I was going through creating an episode for it, for this word. And so I'm thinking like, well, maybe this word needs to be talked about today. And the word is abandonment. The word is abandonment. So what I want to do first is I want to take a quick break and I want to come back. And then when we come back, I want to talk to you about how I see this word abandonment, all right? It's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back.
This March, Ask Nyomi, Bridging the Gap presents to extraordinary guests who are breaking boundaries and sharing their unique perspectives. On March 14th, join us as we welcome Brian Reeves, a former U.S. Air Force officer turned relationship coach and author of Choose Her Every Day or Leave. Get ready for an eye-opening discussion on love, relationships, and the power of daily choices. Then, on March 28th, prepare to be captivated by Curtis and Remy Martin from the iconic Moonlight Bunny Ranch in Nevada. Hear her inspiring story as she challenges stereotypes and shines a light on the world of sex work. Don't miss these compelling conversations. Subscribe now and tune into Ask Nyomi, Bridging the Gap.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good, so I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
All right, good morning, and welcome back to the Season of Self-Love. And this is where we will explore different themes and perspectives on self-care and growth and empowerment. And again, I am your host, Nyomi Banks. And today, as I said before, today we're going to dive into a topic of abandonment and how we can embrace this word from a positive lens. But before we do that, before we get into the topic at hand, we definitely need to take a moment to center ourselves with a guided breathing exercise. So I want you to take a deep breath through your nose, filling your lungs with fresh and revitalizing air. I want you to hold that for a moment, feeling the breath energizing your body. Now slowly exhale through your mouth, releasing any tension or negativity that you may be holding on to. Now inhale deeply again, and this time focusing on the concept of abandonment as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. I want you to embrace the idea of letting go and can lead you to new beginnings and positive transformations. I want you to hold this thought in your mind as you exhale, letting go of any fear or resistance that you may be or you may have towards abandonment. I want you to continue this breathing slowly and deeply, allowing each breath to bring you to clarity and peace. So with each inhale, I want you to welcome the idea of resilience and personal strength with each exhale, releasing any doubts or apprehensive about embracing abandonment as a positive experience. So as you breathe in and out, feel a sense of liberation and empowerment wash over you. Embrace the possibilities that come with accepting abandonment as a chance for personal growth and renewal. And I want you to remember that you have the strength and the resilience to strive in the face of change. Now I want you to take one final deep breath in, filling yourself with confidence and optimism. And exhale slowly, knowing that you are capable of turning abandonment into an opportunity of positive transformation. Now when you are ready, gently open your eyes and carry this sense of empowerment and positivity with you throughout your day. So embrace abandonment as a stepping stone towards a brighter and more fulfilling future. All right, and if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, this is something that we do every day, Monday through Friday, is that before we get into the topic at hand, we do a nice centering and grounding to help prepare us for whatever the topic is and open our minds for understanding. All right, so now that we've dived and we have centered ourselves, let's dive into our exploration of abandonment. And often viewed as a negative experience, abandonment can also be a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. And it can lead us to independence and self-resilience and a deeper understanding of our own worth. I want to talk about how this word came about for me and in this conversation that I had the other day with Dr. Will. So I guess it was last week or a week before last, I was in the kitchen and I was preparing myself. I was doing the kitchen cleaning. It was Saturday. Let me take that back. It was Saturday. And I was doing a deep cleansing of my house. When I do a deep cleansing, that means I go and I clean up everything. I go organizing I sage my whole entire house. I mop the floors, not only with soap and water, but then I go through with Florida water just to cleanse and do a prayer throughout the whole house as I'm cleansing. So as I am in the kitchen, I'm remembering this word abandonment just came to my mind. And I had this reading from Clairvoyant Chris. And I remember the first time he saw me, mind you, when I sign up, I don't ever sign up with Nyomi&x. I always sign up with my legal name. And so when we came, we saw each other, on the profile, he just said, he said, when I saw your name, he said, I thought of abandonment. And he said, you are an abandoned child. That was the first time that I truly ever heard that word for me. For me, that's the first time that I ever heard the word for me. Not that I haven't heard the word abandonment. Yes, I have, but never to the point to where this is now one of my characteristics or one of my, what can you say, a description of me. All right, so, as we sat there and we talked about some things, there was some things that he said that was spot on. Majority of the stuff that he was saying that was very spot on. But I walked away from that session, trying to figure out what is that abandonment. And then I looked on my mirror. Now, mind you, at this time, I'm still in my Golden Rose room. And I look in my mirror. I have this big, gigantic gold mirror. And up there, I have a picture of myself as 2 years old. And I just looked at her, and I usually do a self-reflection, exercise in that mirror all the time. And when I looked at that little girl, I was like, wow, was that abandonment in your eyes? And it wasn't in the 2-year-old girl, but it was in the 6-year-old girl. And I'm going to explain this to you briefly. At 6 years old, we had moved, my mom and them had moved to a suburb in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. And my mother had registered me for a school by my grandmother's house because my mother worked a lot. And, and my dad did his thing, my dad was doing his thing and my little sister, but when they went to register me for a school, I was excited to go to a new school. And she said, I'll see you later. So this, I'm now, what I'm giving you right now is I'm giving you a memory of a 6-year-old and what I saw as a 6-year-old, okay? And why I'm telling you this is because I'm going to show you how I'm evolving, I hope I'm saying the word right, with this word abandonment, okay? So as I'm going through this and I'm looking at this 6-year-old girl going through this, I remember being in the office at the school that I was at. And, I'm hugging my mom and my dad and my little sister, and it's like, bye, okay, I will see you later. So I'm at this brand new school. I go to the class, whatever. So now it's after school. So my aunt, who is 2 years older than me, so this time I'm in first grade. Okay, so she's probably in maybe third or fourth grade. So she comes to pick me up, her and the neighbor that lives next door to my grandmother. And they come and they say, well, you're going to walk home with us, today. And I said, oh, okay. So we're walking home from school and I'm thinking like, when I get home, when I get to my grandmother's house, then, my mom will be on her way to come pick me up. Mind you, I come in the house and I see my bags. I see, my little Lipboy bag. And I'm like, where are my clothes here? Not thinking anything. So my grandmother, me and my aunt at that time, we're doing homework or we playing or we doing whatever. So it starts to get dark outside. And I'm like, okay, where my mom and them at? Back then there was no cell phone. There were no cell phones. So I'm sitting there. So then my grandmother said, okay, now it's time for y'all to go to bed. Y'all got to get up and go to school in the morning. And I'm like, no, hold on. Hey, my mama them coming to get me. I said, I'm waiting for my mama. She said, no, baby, your mama not going to come get you. You're going to be here for the weekend and your mom going to come get you on Friday. I said, what? Like, huh? I said, no, they said they was coming back and get me later on today. She said, no, they're going to come back and get you on Friday. She said, because you're going to be going to school from here. Mind you, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But this went on, this thing went on for 4 years. So I lived with my grandmother during the school year for 4 years. And what that did to that 6-year-old little girl is that, wow, damn. Was I not good enough to come live with you and my dad and my sister? Not knowing and understanding that my mom did that for me. She figured, let me put her in that school system, which is a good school system. And I will just come get her, on the week. We don't know, we're kids. But let me be honest. And when I say, when this has been a part of my self-care and my healing process. Because what I realize is that 6-year-old girl have been making choices for my life for the past 30-something years, 40-something years, let me say this, 44 years of my life. I've been making choices from an abandonment point of view. Of being abandoned and not knowing what that is. I didn't even know I was being abandoned. So even in the mates that I choose, even in my ex-husband, even in my ex-boyfriend, you understand, my baby fathers, you understand? So in that process, I was coming from that sense of hurt or abandonment and not understanding on what that was. All right. And so the other day, I had a sense of ease that came over my body. And I'm not sure where that sense of ease came just yet. But I'm in the process of writing my book right now. And so what I did is I stopped and I went and I started writing. And one of the chapters is of abandonment. I started writing that chapter. And I just want to share the beginning of it with you, I think. Because I think I probably just said a little bit of it, but I just didn't, said in a more... more peaceful way. Okay, so here it is. It says healing from abandonment has been a very challenging thing as I see abandonment showing up disguised in many different things, especially in my life. And then I speak about my first experience with abandonment was 6 years old when I was sent to live with my grandmother to go to school. That was the first sense of abandonment for me, and I did not understand it then like I understand it now. But then when I look back on my life, I see that a lot of the choices that I made came from that abandonment space. Came from that abandonment space. So for me, this is a part of what I usually do in the show is understanding what abandonment was for me. Now I have to go a little deeper than that and say, how can I heal from this abandonment and embrace it as a positive? And this goes into the conversation that I had with Dr. Will before we went on. I believe, I don't know if it was either Tuesday show or Wednesday show. It was one of those shows this week. And I was talking to him and I was, giving him my revelation on, of the abandonment. And, I was talking to him about, in the process of me writing, there's so many different things, emotions that come up, about it. And even in this journey, in this process of, me being a caregiver for my mother now has brought up, some things that now they're not negative anymore. I see them as now that I'm able to be able to deal with them in a different manner, look at them in a different perspective. And I said, and that's what I see with abandonment. With abandonment, if anything, I see that it has been a tool and a gift for me. It's been a part of helping me for my resilience. It created me to be stronger, not to always depend on someone. And I know you're like, Nyomi, that's a bad thing. But is it? Is it? The thing is that if we learn how to depend on ourselves in a healthier way, and this is what this self-love journey is all about. It's about loving yourself, having an intimate relationship with yourself in a healthy way so we can have healthier relationships with others. That we can show a healthy, peaceful, respectable relationship with others. That is what this self-love journey is about. How can we be able to serve each other? How? The only way that we are able to do that is truly be in love with ourselves and understand who we are and be able to heal each of those little bruises that's on us. So the abandonment, that's a part of my bruise. That's a bruise on me. But now I'm looking at it, but like, no, that's a war room right there. That's one of my war rooms, and it feels good because now I can take that word and I can embrace it as a positive. Because that word, abandonment, has gotten me through 46 years of my life. That word abandonment got me through 46 years of my life. So also, embracing abandonment as a positive, it involves recognizing that it's not a reflection of our value or our lovability, but rather an opportunity to prioritize our own needs and well-being. And it allows us to let go of relationships, situations, or patterns that no longer serve us. So paving a way for a new beginnings and personal transformation. So also what I did come to understand is where abandonment came from and that it wasn't intentionally. So meaning that I understand where it was rooted from. It was rooted from at 6 years old that my mom and my dad, they left me with my grandmother so I can be in a better school district. And my mom worked all the time. My mom was working and going to school, and where we were living at that time, There was no schools that she was comfortable with me being there. I didn't understand it at a 6-year-old, but I understand that now. And I understand that that wasn't intentionally, that she did not intentionally abandon me. She didn't. And it also, what I had to understand is that that same abandonment that was on me unintentionally, I unintentionally put that on my first baby. Yeah. And so now, even me doing this topic right now, this will have to be a conversation that I will have to have with my oldest daughter. So what I want to do is I want to take a quick break because we can go more deeper. I want to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to get a little bit more deeper in this conversation, all right? It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on this season of Self-Love Podcast, and we'll be right back.
Love Podcast with Nyomi Banks, where every day is a chance to embrace self-discovery and personal growth. Join Nyomi on a transformative journey, streaming exclusively on Spotify and Breaker. With daily episodes from Monday through Friday, podcast is your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and self-love. Dive deep into engaging conversations about self-care, mindfulness, and personal development. Nyomi brings you expert insights, practical tips, and uplifting stories from thought leaders in the field. Embark on a journey of self-discovery and unlock the power of self-love. Mark your calendars and tune in to the Season of Self-Love podcast. Available every weekday on Spotify and Spreaker. Remember, it's time to prioritize yourself and embrace the beautiful season of self-love. Get inspired and join Nyomi Banks on the Season of Self-Love podcast.
All right, welcome back, my beautiful people. It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. And today we are talking about embracing abandonment as a positive. By reframing abandonment as a chance for liberation and self-empowerment, we can shift our perspective and approach with courage and resilience. And it's about trusting in our own strength and inner wisdom to navigate life twists and turns. You see, knowing that we are capable of thriving despite of challenges. And like I said in the beginning of this show, I woke up this morning thinking about this word. I woke up this morning just trying to craft the episode that would make sense. That because, abandonment is a bad word. That is what's been taught to us. Abandonment is a bad word. How can we take a bad word and reframe it to something that's beneficial for us? Especially if this is a part of a war wound that we have to carry. So how can we look at that in a different perspective? And like I said earlier, is that I came to this revelation last week when I was cleaning, and cleansing the house, and even understanding the journey that I'm going on with me and my mom right now, looking at dimension as another perspective. And I truly believe that this is how we have to look at life. Is that we truly have to find a silver lining in things, and what are we supposed to learn from these situations? You understand? Because the things is, we cannot control what happens to us, but what we can control is how we will respond to those things that's happening to us. How will we allow those things to affect our lives? So instead of us always looking to it affect it in a negative way, how can we use it in a positive way? How can it just fuel us even more? Y'all understand what I'm saying? So I have a few tips and strategies that and I'm going to be honest, I kind of looked a lot of things up, put it together. And these are some ways that you can kind of refrain from abandonment. So reframing from abandonment as a positive experience can be several benefits for individuals in their personal growth and self-discovery journey. One is to promote resilience. Viewing abandonment as an opportunity for growth can help individuals build resilience in the face of challenges. So by understanding that they can strive despite difficult circumstances, they develop the strength to overcome setbacks and adversity. The next one is to encourage self-reflection. Reframing abandonment allows individuals to engage in self-reflection and introspection, that they can explore their emotions, their beliefs, and their behaviors, leading to a deeper understanding of themselves and their needs. The next one is fostering independence. Embracing abandonment as a positive experience encourages individuals to rely on themselves and their own abilities. It can empower them to make decisions that are aligned with their values and their goals, fostering a sense of independence and self-resilience. Another one is, it can facilitate of letting go. Viewing abandonment as an opportunity to let go of relationships, situations, or patterns that no longer serve them. It can be liberating. It also allows individuals to release emotional baggage and make space for new experiences and growth. It also promotes personal transformation. So reframing abandonment as a positive experience opens the door to personal transformation. It can inspire individuals to pursue new opportunities, explore different paths, and embrace change with optimism and courage. Another one is to cultivate self-worth. By reframing abandonment as a chance to prioritize their own well-being and needs, individuals can cultivate a stronger sense of self-worth. They learn to value themselves, set healthy boundaries, and practice self-care, contributing to their overall happiness and fulfillment. So overall, reframing abandonment as a positive experience can be a powerful catalyst for personal growth and self-discovery. It's enabling individuals to navigate life challenges with grace and confidence. So by me sharing all of these things with you, my beautiful people, whoever can resonate with this word abandonment, that you can look at it in a different perspective and hold on to it in a positive light. You understand? So my thing is, when I look down and I think about what's rooted in the word abandonment. For that word abandonment for me was rooted into my parents trying to do the best that they thought for me. Because the thing is, we don't know better until we taught better. My mother learned to work as hard as she did from her mother, as I did the same. But in their process, there are other ways. There are other ways. You know, I came from a time where kids are seen but not heard. Now with my last two babies, I sit down and I have conversations with them. I don't treat them as children. I talk to them as adults to make sure they can understand what is happening around them and what did they see, what did they hear, how did that make them feel. And I have to, because I have to make sure that they will not have the same things that I have, or at least that I won't be contributed to it. But also is that they will be able to get through those things, that they will be able to see a different perspective of it. So if you've been following this podcast from the very beginning, it's all about stopping those generational curses. Remember, self-love starts from home. The foundation is at home. And even though you might not get taught about self-love, self-appreciation, self-evaluation, self-awareness, compassion for yourself, but as long as you're listening here to the season of self-love, I can give you a few things that might help you along your way. But it has to start somewhere. And so for me, I know a lot of people, I might get a lot of, I bet no. And I'm staying true to this. Abandonment for me has been a tool. It's probably been one of my greatest tools. Because I was able to build resilience, strength, to rely on myself even more. But also me understanding what it is now of abandonment and take the positive out of them. Man, I'm giving it to y'all so y'all can take this And y'all can understand this. And so you might be able to help a loved one or a family member or a friend or somebody out there. Or better yet, if you don't have all, send them over here. Say, go listen to episode, I believe this episode 88 or 87. Because we all have a sense of abandonment somewhere, somehow. But if we can look at the silver lining of that word abandonment, if we can look at it in a different perspective, let me tell you something. It's going to be a big weight that's lifted off of you. We can't control on what things and situations happen in life. The only thing that we can control is how we respond to it and how we allow it to affect our lives. That's it. That is it. All right, my beautiful people. It has been good. It's been very nice in this conversation. Again, I thank you for sharing this space with me and allowing me to just share this with you. This has been this. I was going to save this, and I might bring it back and bring Dr. Will on with it because, again, he might have another different perspective that's different from mine. But I would definitely bring it back. But just this morning, it was just something that was nagging at me saying, do this. Do this. Say, speak this out today. This is something that you need to speak about and speak on because somebody else needs to hear this. And if you do need to hear this and you see this and it helped you, please send me an email. Send me an email. You can go straight through the Season of Self-Love website, seasonofselflove.com, podcast.com, website as well. Or just leave a message in the comments down below, or just email me, all right? So again, I thank you for joining me in today's episode of the Season of Self-Love, where we explore the theme of abandonment through a positive lens. And I want you to remember, embracing this word can lead us to a profound self-discovery and growth. And until next time, I want you to stay kind to yourself and nurture the love within. Have a good one. Thank you for listening to the Season of Self-Love podcast. If you have any questions or would like to connect with us, you can follow us on social media. Just search for the Season of Self-Love on Instagram. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, feel free to email us at elevateme9999@gmail.com. And remember, you are worthy of love, growth, and happiness. So keep shining bright. And I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the Season of Self-Love. Be good to one another and yourselves. And always keep it sexy. Send the light, love, and prayers.